Hey, everybody. It's Dr. Randi B, MD, your board certified pediatrician and financial wellness expert, where I provide your RX to wealth and financial well-being through my coaching programs, my speaking engagements, and my number one best-selling book, Ladynomics, a woman's prescription for wealth. So, hi, everyone. So I was going to start this live all like I was so hyped up from the day because there's been a lot of crazy stuff happening in the markets, and then got the news that Cicely Tyson passed on. So I'm just like, I don't know, this one hits me a little hard. It's kind of sad. She was just an icon, just beautiful, Black, phenomenal actress. Just an icon. So it kind of just took me down just a little bit. So rest in peace, Queen. You know, there's a running joke in my family that said, oh, she could have been like one of us, one of my mother's sisters. Actually, a lot of people used to say that, they said that they were like twins. That was her twin. So rest in peace, Queen. And, thank you for the wonderful memories and the movies and the entertainment. But yes, back to what happened today, what's been going on. Yes, Dr. Charlotte, I'm going to try my best. This is not my area of expertise, but basically, I don't know if you've seen the news. I know it's been all over my feed about GameStop, AMC, the movie theater stocks, Nokia. What is the other one? Those were like the main ones. I mean, stocks, BlackBerry. I mean, these are all stocks that were trading like less than $1 per share or $1 per share. And all of a sudden, like, this frenzy has occurred in the market where GameStop price is like $400 a share. So basically, this is what I understand what happened. And again, this is not my area of expertise, but I did have 14 years in investment banking, so I understand it a bit. But apparently, there are institutional investors, like with the hedge funds. I know you've heard of hedge fund companies, firms who make certain bets on the market. It's almost like gambling. They make like these predictions based on what they think, what they know about a particular company. So I guess it got, there was word that came out that certain hedge fund companies were placing what they call short contracts on companies where they thought that these particular companies' stocks was going to decrease in value. So by placing these contracts, and if the stock price indeed decrease, they would make money off of the decrease in the stock. Okay, and there's a transaction that occurred that I'm not going to get into because I want to make sure I explain it properly. But basically, that's it. They profit when a particular stock of a company reduce in price. Okay, they set up this trading mechanism that they end up profiting if it should go in the direction that they expect it to go. Well, a whole bunch of amateur traders, I guess they got onto the platform Reddit and decided that they were going to artificially inflate the prices of the GameStop stock, the GME stock. And they manipulated the market. Like, they encouraged their followers to buy up so much stock that GameStop, I think the 52-week low was like $1.50 or something. Over the past week, skyrocketed to $500 to $400 a share. I read today that after hours stock was $500 a share. So people who bought in or maybe had that stock and say $1 a share, $2, if they bought $100 worth of stock and now it's trading at 500, that's like, oh my God, that's, I'm taking out my little calculator here. Hold on. That's like $50,000 gain. So that's one part of the puzzle. So if they hold down or if they sold out, if they sold the stock today or yesterday or whenever it started going up, because I honestly, I just noticed this like yesterday. So not only did these people realize some massive gains, on the flip side, these hedge fund companies that was betting for the stock to decrease suffered some substantial losses because the stock went in the other direction. Okay, they were betting that the stock was going to go down, but the stock went up by hundreds of dollars. Okay, it went from like $1.50 to $400 in 1 week. So that means these hedge funds lost billions of dollars. I was in investment banking for 14 years, and I'm telling you, I've never seen anything like this. Never. Of course, when the market was selling off or, something significant happened that made the market go up and down, when it make it, extremely volatile, yeah, that was exciting, but I've never seen anything like this. I mean, they stopped some platforms like Robinhood, some other platform. I think, which other ones? There were some other platforms that stopped trading these stocks. Like I have a, Robinhood account. I could not buy GME or AMC. I bought AMC last night. But there were some other stocks that they were recommending. You couldn't, like they stopped. BlackBerry, can you imagine I love BlackBerry. I had a BlackBerry and I loved it. But BlackBerry's like in the past, they stopped trading on BlackBerry because they just felt like they just saw what was happening in the market. And just by people ganging together, like the little man ganging together and saying, oh no, we're gonna show these Wall Street people that we can like sock it to them. Yeah, I'm trying to be nice, but basically, how I described it as a David versus Goliath sort of thing, right? You have these amateur traders going against these big wigs, well-established, well-funded, multi-millionaire, multi-billionaire traders, and the traders were losing. One hedge fund declared bankruptcy or close to bankruptcy or something like that because they had a loss of like $1.5 billion. It's complicated, but basically this is the basic of it. These hedge fund companies that was betting for the stock prices for some of these companies like the AMC and the GME to decrease, lost money because it increased. And it increased because a bunch of Reddit investors decided that we're going to sock it to Wall Street and make them lose money, and in some cases make us gain a lot of money. Because like I said, if you was in on this, like say you were like on the feed, the thread when this all was initially derived in Reddit, and you saw the stock at $1, you probably bought like $1,000 worth of share and just decided to hold it. And so that when it went to $400 a share. So people on there were saying, look, I paid off my student loans. I did this, I did that. It is just really, really fascinating, really, really fascinating. And so what's going to be even more interesting, what they're telling people is that if you do have stock, like I have stock, I bought some stock in AMC last night because I'm like, okay, I want a little piece of the action. Let's see what happens. Let's see what I can do, right? So what they're saying is, hold on to the stock because a lot of these contracts that these hedge funds entered in expires tomorrow. So, so there is a push in that community to drive up the stock again. One day I'm going to have someone explain the because it's like contracts and buying a particular, you got to borrow a particular stock. How much was AMC? AMC was $10. No, I bought it at $13 yesterday, last night. I forget what it's trading at right now. But if they drive it up to, if it goes the way of GameStop, if it goes up to like $400 a share because of artificial sales, not artificial sales, but if enough, well, we'll see, Michelle. I don't know, because I think I got in at the tail end. Who knows? It may tank. So that's the next part. You know, you may see all these things happening in the market, and you're like, "Oh, I want to get in. I want to get in." You know, if you follow some of these, these Facebook groups, they'll say, well, get this and, get this and get that. This is the next one. There's a whole subculture that exists but I'll tell you what's so funny is that I'm in a lot of these groups. And for the past week, I'm seeing, we need to pool money. Yes. I'm seeing stuff like GameStop, Nokia. I bought Nokia for this. I'm like, why are people talking about these companies? They're not even... who has a Nokia phone? Who has a BlackBerry phone? Who's trying to buy stock in AMC because it's a pandemic? AMC theaters are closed. We don't even know, how it's going. A stock market price, the stock of a business is, it's dependent on its business. So if you see that a business may not survive or it's on a downcline, usually the stock price decreases as a result. It doesn't increase. So it just didn't make sense to me. But now, reading all the background, I see what was done. And it's quite brilliant. It really is brilliant. These are just amateur traders, and they decided to manipulate the market to the tune of billions and billions and billions of dollars. I think I read that Robinhood had to take out a line of credit because it was in a hold. Another company, I don't know how they filed for bankruptcy, but they went broke. Can you imagine losing $1.5 billion? That's your whole capital. That just wipes out everything. So, it's really, for someone who, like I said, for someone who had a prior experience in this, it's really amazing that this can happen. And it's really going to change things because right now people are pissed at Robinhood. Okay, I was a big proponent for Robinhood, and because I thought it was very easy to use. I'm still not sure if I'm going to change my accounts, but I do have a Fidelity account that I may start trading in. Because what happened today was Robinhood, along with some other trading platforms, they decided to remove those stocks from your ability to trade. Like you couldn't trade them, you couldn't buy. And if you held on to it, all you could do was sell it. All you could do is close out the position. That's what they call it. Sell, close it out. That's all you could do. You couldn't buy any additional stock. So when I bought my AMC last night, I got in the nick of time because I bought it after hours, and first thing in the morning, it went through. But shortly after that, they stopped You couldn't buy AMC, you couldn't buy BlackBerry, you couldn't buy GME on Robinhood. So what people are pissed about is they're saying, well, they're preventing the average, Joe trader, the me and you, the everyday trader, from not participating in the market, but still allowing these hedge funds to continue and manipulate it so that it works in their favor. So, right. Yes, it did go down. Yes, AMC, yes. So that's, and I think in terms of the contracts with AMC, from what I read, those stocks, the hedge fund contracts, the contracts that I said that they entered into thinking that the trade, the AMC stock was going to go down. I think those contracts expire on Monday. So Cash App, I heard you can trade still. Cash App, I heard you can trade. I did hear you could trade at Cash App. So you're lucky you were able to get in. I tried to revamp my Fidelity account today. I tried to revamp it. I couldn't transfer money into it fast enough. So I'm going to see what I can do tonight. Maybe I'll set up something on Cash. Again, I'm laughing. Do not bet. Money you cannot afford to lose, do not use it. If you cannot afford to lose, I'm going to say this because yes, it seems exciting. Yes, you might be suing people. Yes, but this is not, don't, if you got to pay your mortgage, you got $2,000 in your bank account and that's mortgage, you keep it. Do not play around because you will lose your money. You can lose your money. So keep that in mind. I'm not making any recommendations, y'all ain't coming after me saying, oh, Dr. Randi said no. Dr. Randi did not say anything. I'm just providing information. And I'm telling you, do not use money you cannot afford to lose because who knows what's going to happen. My little, whatever, like $50, $60 I put into the account today, if I lose it, it's like when you go to Vegas, right? You say, I'm only spending $50. That's it. Once that $50 is gone, I'm finished. Think of it that way. Think you're going to, if you gamble, think of you going to Vegas playing the slot machines and you're saying, this is my limit. So if you want to take a chance, you can do that. But Google, look it up. There's a lot of, everybody was talking about it, but I'm sorry, you may think I'm like giddy and stuff, but I kind of love these little underdog stories. I worked in investment banking for 14 years. And let me tell you, it's a shark. I mean, it's a dog eat dog world in investment banking. Okay. It is rough. It's a rough. So, and these people, when it comes to money and their profits, they don't play. Okay. They do not play around. Okay. So for this to happen to these huge hedge fund companies, these companies, these investment firms, and it's just fun to watch. I'm getting a kick out of all this. But as another friend who used to be a regulator, I don't know which regulation organization she worked for, but she said repercussions will be probably had by whoever, because it's stock manipulation, so you have to, whoever decided to do this, or even in large quantity. So, but if you have Fidelity, if you have Cash App, you could probably still take advantage. It's not, it's there. It's just that it was really fun. It's been really interesting It's been really interesting to watch. And I'm sure because I'm not even sure if this is something that's happened. I'm sure that things have happened. We know that, well, the investment banking industry, there's a lot of crazy things that go on. Let's not forget about 2008 when we had the crash that led to the recession due to subprime mortgages, that kind of thing. So, there's always little funky things that can happen. But for the little guys to kind of, get the big guys, David versus Goliath, and kind of like win, it's the season for the underdog winning. Yeah, it's just I just find it very fascinating. I just think it's hilarious. I've never seen anything, and I'm sure as a result of all this, there's going to be some changes forthcoming. I saw a tweet from AOC, representative from the Bronx, New York, and she's on the finance committee in the House of Representatives. So they're going to probably start doing some investigations, but not so much. I don't think so much on the amateur trader side, but on the side, on the trader side, like the Robin Hood, I forget there was Bullwell. There were other companies that had stopped the trading for these particular stocks. So they're going to investigate that to see why some people or some organizations, some institutions were able to sell and trade and mitigate some of their losses, possibly, while the everyday trader wasn't able to do that. So it begs the question: is the free market really a free market? If everyone can't, if everyone do not have the ability to participate. So I think that's the question, and it's going to be interesting these next couple of weeks. It's really going to be interesting. But again, if you decide to get involved, only use what you can afford. Do not think you're going to go in and make a ton of money, because we might have missed the boat. So my advice is, get on Facebook if you're not on Facebook, or Twitter, and follow all this information. It's really fascinating. And so you could get an idea of what's happening, because there's a lot of information that can be, that's probably out there that you just, like underground information that you may not even understand. But anyway, that's it. So, if you want to know more, this was just a synopsis, because I'm still really trying to understand. I wasn't paying that much attention to it until today. But, just Google, the keywords are short contracts. What happens when you buy short? I mean, basically what happens when you buy short is like investor borrows a stock from a seller, right? They borrow it. Say they borrow it. A good example I had today is they borrow one stock at $10, right? They immediately sell that stock for $10. So one stock, $10, they made $10 off of it. But because they borrowed it, they got to give that person back. But in their head, they said, okay, well, I borrowed it for $10. I immediately sold it for $10, and I'm going to wait for this stock to decrease in value. So maybe 2 or 3 days later, the stock is now selling at $7. So what they do is they go back into the market, buy that one stock at $7 so that they can return the stock to the person they borrowed it from. So what ends up happening is they made a $3 gain. That's what buying short means. That person bought short and made money. That's what these hedge funds do. And so it's like you're making money on something you don't own because you borrowed it, but you are like, oh, like wishing and hoping that that price decreases the way you think it's going to decrease so that you can make a profit on it. That's really so. These hedge funds entered these short contracts at a particular price, say $100. They thought the price was going to go down to say 50, and they thought they were going to make a $50, whatever. I'm just throwing out numbers, profit, but instead the price went up. Now the stock is 150, is now, oh my God, I got my numbers mixed up. Oh, the stock is now 150. So instead of them buying that stock at 50 to pay off the person that they borrowed the stock from, they got to pay 150. So guess what? They lose $50 as opposed to gain. I hope that helps, but that's how that works. So anyway, I think I've belabored this. I was so excited about it, so I wanted to talk about it. But anyway, so watch tomorrow. Watch on Monday. See, Michelle, it is crazy. There's a lot. That's why I want people to understand, to really understand this, because one, it's a great way to build wealth, amongst other things, in addition to other things like real estate and, just holding mutual funds. That's pretty safe. These are this is individual stocks, by the way. That's what I'm, but it's a nice way. And if you could get involved and understand it, I think it, could be a good thing. But it's not good when things are one-sided. That may have happened today when Robinhood and a lot of these other trading platforms decided to cease trading for amateur traders today, by removing these stocks from their platform. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll see what happens Monday. I think on Monday the AMC short contracts expires. So for what they're saying, that they're going to try and increase the stock for AMC for Monday, so that these traders these new hedge funds continue to lose money, because now with the contract expiring on Monday, they have to return those stocks that they borrowed. So they're probably gonna have to buy them back at those high prices, which will continue to drive the prices even more. So if you have money in that, or if you hold those stocks, you may realize a huge gain. So that's it. I hope it wasn't too confusing. I hope I explained it somewhat, but again, it's not my expertise. Hopefully, maybe I'll get somebody on to kind of explain it some more. But anyway, rest in peace, Cecily Tyson. Oh, my heart is heavy. This one, it hurts. It really does. So anyway, I'm Dr. Randi, your board certified pediatrician and financial wellness expert, where I provide your RX to wealth and financial well-being through my coaching programs, my speaking engagements, and my #1 best-selling book, Ladynomics, A Woman's Prescription for Health. Thank you for joining me today. Thanks, Michelle. Thanks, Dr. Charlotte, and whoever joined in. All right. Bye.